Genie Plus is gone, Lightning Lane Multi-Pass is here. Hey everybody, if you are new here, make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things theme park, cruise, and travel. And if you are a returning viewer, make sure you click that notification bell so you never miss a video. Before I get into today's first story, I have a major favor to ask. Becoming a member of the UT Partner Program is something that I have been trying to do for the past year and a half. Becoming a member of the YouTube Partner Program is going to give me more freedom to bring more videos to you at home. So if you could do me a really big favor and subscribe to my channel, watch the videos all the way to the end, and even go check out some of my previous videos. Let me know in the comments of those videos as well as this one what you think about the stories I'm covering. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Genie Plus is a thing of the past, and Lightning Lane Multi-Pass is the new skip the line option at Walt Disney World. It is a little bit of the old Fast Pass Plus system, a little bit of the old Genie Plus system, kind of combined into one to make this brand new skip the line option. And we're going to talk about everything that I know so far. Planning a Disney vacation is stressful enough. Some people plan for years in advance for their trips. So make sure you stay to the end of this video so for your next trip you will know exactly how to use the system. I'm going to let you know everything you need to know to plan your upcoming trip to Disney so that you know what to expect when you're in the parks, when you can make those Lightning Lane reservations, and everything I've learned so far about this new skip the line system. Now, if you've already been to Disney, that means you were one of the first people that got the opportunity to use this new skip the line system. Make sure you let me know in the comments below, how did it work for you? How did the modify option work, which is something we're going to talk about a little later? And were you able to ride everything that you wanted to ride? Basically, did it meet your expectations? And rate it. Let me know what you think. And if you guys are interested in having me go to one of the parks and test it out in person in real time, let me know and I'll go make that video. Today is your multi-pass and single pass 101 video. So get your notebook and your pens and start taking some notes, and let's jump right into it. I don't know if I'm going to miss Genie Plus or not, but I can tell you one thing that I will not miss is the free Genie option. Did you guys ever use that free Genie option? If you did, let me know in the comments below how that experience was for you. I literally went to Epcot for the first time by myself. I had to work up the courage for probably a couple of months, not even being dramatic, a few months, to go into the park by myself, and I decided to use the Genie free option. And literally that is the one and only time going to Disney for like the last 17 years that I got a sunburn. And I blame it on Genie. Genie did me dirty. Genie did me wrong. Genie had me go from Ratatouille over to the Frozen ride. And then it kept trying to feed me. Like, I swear, every time I did a ride, it was like, did you want to eat? It's time to eat. Like, seriously? Genie, goodbye. You will not be missed. Let's start breaking down this new system. So basically, I'm going to tell you what is a multi-pass, what is a single pass, and how you can use them in the theme parks. Think of this video as Lightning Lane Multi-Pass 101. And I was a corporate trainer for a while, so I'm pretty confident that I can explain this to you. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I look at all my comments, so let me know if something still confused you, or if you just want a little more insight. Let me know in the comments below. I will make sure to reply to you because my goal is to make sure you fully understand this new system. So let's start with something really basic. What is this new system? So basically, the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass system is the new skip the line option at Walt Disney World, and it is replacing Genie Plus. So you have the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and you have the Lightning Lane Single Pass, and we're going to talk about both of those. Let's start with the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass. Now, basically, this is what is replacing the Genie Plus option for Walt Disney World. For this system, you're going to pay once per day per person, and that's going to give you access to the skip the line option for the rides at the park that you are going to for that day. Like Genie Plus, it does cost money. It is a one-time charge per person, and the charge is going to vary depending on the park that you go to. There is also a multi-park option, and from what I've seen so far, it's very similar to the old Genie Plus system. The most expensive park is always going to be Magic Kingdom. The cheaper park is always going to be Animal Kingdom because it does close earlier in the day. It's not open as long as the other parks. And as far as the prices go, they are very, very similar to Genie Plus. So if you're planning a trip around the holidays, I would go ahead and plan for around the $40 mark. And remember, that is per person per day. On average, for the month of August, the most expensive Magic Kingdom multi-pass was about $27. The next most popular park is always going to be Hollywood Studios. That is averaging at $24. Epcot is averaging at $19. And Animal Kingdom, the park that's open for the shortest amount of time, is averaging about $17. Now keep in mind, these are the averages that I am seeing on the day that I am filming this video. Those prices are subject to change, and it's usually going to be based on popularity of that park for that day that you're going to go visit. One really big difference is you do not have to pay for a park hopper option. So I know what you're thinking. Okay, if I pay for Animal Kingdom and let's say it's $17, can I then go to Magic Kingdom even though on the day I'm visiting it's averaging $29? And the answer is yes. You will be able to park hop over to Magic Kingdom. You will not pay an increased price for the park hopper option to use the multi-pass option. If you have a ticket that has a park hopper option, you could basically buy the multi-pass lightning lane for Animal Kingdom if that is the first park you're going to, for whatever that price is. We already know that's going to be the cheapest price for all 4 parks, and you can actually go over to the Magic Kingdom and still have the multi-pass lightning lane capabilities at the Magic Kingdom for no additional charge. So a really big pro tip here from me to you is if you are going to do Animal Kingdom, make sure that is your first option on that day, and then hop over to a park that had a more expensive option like Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios. You're actually going to save money by doing it that way. If you go to Animal Kingdom and pay $17 per person for that day, and then you hop over to Magic Kingdom, which for the sake of the example is $27 per person per day, you're actually saving $10 per person on the day that you visit simply by going to a park that is cheaper in the morning and then hopping over to that more expensive park. Just like with Genie Plus, the multi-pass system does give you access to the photo pass option that was on Genie Plus. So any attraction that has that photo pass, you will be able to download those straight from your app, and that is included with the price, so there's no additional fee. Now, a big difference from Genie Plus is you are no longer selecting the next available time for your options. This is no longer a choose the next available system. When you were booking Genie Plus, you were booking whichever the next available time was for that particular attraction. This is where multi-pass is more like the old fast pass system, where you are actually pre-selecting times for those attractions that you choose. Another really big change is you will now be able to pre-select your attractions days in advance. If you are staying on resort property, you are able to make those selections 7 days in advance. Now, if you're not staying on Disney property or one of the Good Neighbor hotels, then you can still pre-select your options in advance, but instead of 7 days, you are able to make those selections 3 days in advance. Now, for my people coming from other countries other than the US, there is one thing that I'm hoping is going to change, but for right now, you are not able to make those selections from your home country. You have to be on US soil in order to make those selections. And to be completely honest, I hope that's something that Disney did not do on purpose and that they do change that. I don't think that's fair, especially for our visitors coming from another country. If anything, that should be a top priority because you are coming from so far away. However, for now, my biggest advice is if you're coming from another country to the US and you're going to visit other places like New York or California or South Florida, do all of those first and then put your Disney trip on the back end. That way you at least have more leeway from the time that you get to the US and the time that you are going to actually go to the park, so that you have the ability to actually select the rides you want. If you land on a Monday and you go to the park on a Monday, you're not going to have very much time. I know a lot of people fly into Orlando and go straight to the parks, but for this option, for the multi-pass option, I would really suggest just going somewhere else, putting Disney on the back end of your trip if that's at all possible. But if not, just keep in mind you're not able to make those selections until you are actually in the US. My understanding of the system is that if you are from Canada, you are actually able to go ahead and make those reservations in advance, just like those of us here in America. But if you are from Canada and you are visiting Disney over the next few weeks or few months, let me know. Are you actually able to make those selections, or did you have to wait until you came over the US border before you were able to make your selections for Disney? I'm really curious about that, so let me know in the comments below. Another really big change that I actually really like, and I don't understand why it wasn't this way with Genie Plus. But anyway, one really big change is the fact that you can see the available selections before you pay. You are able to go in there, see what each park has for the day that you're going to be visiting before you check out. With Genie Plus, you were not able to do that. You just had to pay, and then you were at the mercy of the Genie Plus gods if you were able to ride anything. I have seen where people have paid for Genie Plus and were not able to use it for anything. And the thing that really sucked about that is Disney's not going to give you a refund for that. So I really like this change. It's probably one of my most favorite changes that they made, because the other way they were doing it with Genie Plus just kind of seemed scammy in my opinion. But this new way is awesome. You're able to see what you're gonna get before you pay, and that's great. Good job, Disney. Now, if you are buying a single day ticket or you have an annual pass, you are only able to make those multi-lane selections one day at a time. You don't get the added benefit of making your selections multiple days in advance. So keep that in mind if you're an annual pass holder or if you're just going to one of the theme parks for one day. Now let's talk about how to actually book your multi-pass. So you have to make sure, very important, that your friends and family are linked to your My Disney Experience app before you make your bookings. If not, that person will not be able to use the benefits. So super important, double check that everyone is linked to your My Disney Experience app before your booking window opens up. Another big difference between multi-pass and Genie Plus is you are able to link up to 20 people on your friends and family list for the multi-pass. Genie Plus was around 12 people you could link, but it really works better if there was like 10 or less in your party. But for multi-pass, 20 people. Another really big tip is to make sure that your My Disney Experience app doesn't need any updates. If it does, do it the day before your booking window opens, because at 7 a.m. you are going to be able to make those bookings, and the last thing you want is to have to stop what you're doing to do an update on your app. Now, when you get into the app, you are going to choose your date, your park, and your party members for the multi-pass. This is where you're going to be able to choose 3 attractions. Now, the attractions are in a tier system. So tier 1 attractions, for example, are going to be things like Cosmic Rewind or Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Tier 2 attractions are going to be things like Smuggler's Run or Expedition Everest. You can select 1 of the tier 1 attractions and then 2 of the tier 2 attractions, or you can just select 3 of the tier 2 attractions, but you are only able to make 3 total selections, and it is going to auto generate times based off of any other like dining reservations or experiences you have booked. Something really important to take note about this part in the booking process: you are only allowed 5 minutes on the selection screen. I don't know how I feel about that right now, but right now you only have 5 minutes left to make those selections. So pick those 3 rides that you want to ride. I wouldn't worry so much about the time because you are able to modify those times after you made the selection. So if it's a non-negotiable that you do Slinky Dog Dash, but you're not getting a time until after 12, but you want to ride it before 12, go ahead and select Slinky Dog Dash, because that is one of the most popular rides at Walt Disney World, and then just modify it at a later time because at least you've got that ride locked in. After you've made your selections, you are going to proceed to the payment menu, and then that's when you're going to pay. Again, this is completely different than Genie Plus, where you had to pay at the beginning and you just hoped that you were able to get the rides that you wanted. So this is a big change. Props to Disney for this change. I think this is awesome. Should take a lot of the stress out of your planning for your trip. Something else that you want to take note of is when you are making those selections, you are booking for everyone you selected in your party. But don't worry if you have someone that maybe doesn't want to ride Cosmic Rewind, for example. Maybe they have a little kid and they would rather go ride Frozen Ever After. You are able to modify what person in your party rides what ride. Don't let that be a factor in holding you back from selecting those more popular rides. Pro tip: select the popular rides, make the modifications later. That modification button is going to be your best friend. Now that you've made your purchase, it's time to go to the park. And something that is completely different than Genie Plus is as soon as you get into the park and as soon as you tap into that very first attraction, you are allowed to go ahead and select another attraction. There is no grace periods, no waiting times. All of that is a thing of the past. So as soon as you tap into that first ride, make sure there's not a second touch point. Go ahead and book your next attraction. And something to keep in mind, as soon as you tap into that very first ride, you have automatically unlocked your park hopping options. So that means you're able to make selections for your second park already. And of course, in order for you to unlock the park hopper option, you do have to have that option on your ticket. You will not be able to book any lightning lanes at a secondary park if you do not have that option on your ticket. Now that you know how to book your lightning lanes, we need to go over what rides and attractions are going to be covered in the multi-park lightning lane option. They are different than Genie Plus, so let's go over those really quickly. Each of the 4 parks are going to have tier 1 and tier 2 selections that you can make. So remember, for tier 1 you can pick 1, and then for tier 2 you can pick 2 or 3, but you cannot do more than one of the tier 1 rides. So let's go over those for each of the 4 parks. At Magic Kingdom, the tier 1 rides are Big Thunder Mountain, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan, Space Mountain, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. For tier 2 at Magic Kingdom, there is Mickey's PhilharMagic, the Aladdin Carpet Ride, Barnstormers, Buzz Lightyear, Dumbo, the Haunted Mansion, It's a Small World, the Mad Tea Party, Winnie the Pooh, Monsters Inc., Pirates of the Caribbean, Tomorrowland, and the Little Mermaid Ride. At Hollywood Studios, the tier 1 rides are Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Slinky Dog Dash. For tier 2, Alien Swirling Saucers, Beauty and the Beast, Disney Junior, Frozen Sing-Along, Indiana Jones, Muppet Vision, Star Tours, Tower of Terror, and Toy Story Mania. For Epcot, the Tier 1 rides are Frozen, Remy's, Soarin', and Test Track. Right now it's down for refurbishment, but it is listed as a Tier 1 option. For Tier 2, there is the Pixar Shorts, Figment, Living with the Land, Mission Space, Nemo, Spaceship Earth, and Turtle Talk with Crush. Now over at Animal Kingdom, there are no Tier 1 rides, so you were able to make 3 selections from the following rides: Navi River Journey, Dinosaur, Everest, Flight of Feathered Friends, Lion King, Nemo, It's Tough to Be a Bug, Cali River Rapids, and the Kilimanjaro Safari. Something else that is a little different than Genie Plus is there are selections that you cannot make with Multi-Pass Lightning Lane that you could with Genie Plus. Those are basically like the character meet and greets and character experiences. Those are no longer selections that can be made with the new system. Now that we've learned about the multi-pass, we have to talk about the single pass option. Before I do that, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date on all things theme park, cruise, and travel, please consider subscribing with that notification bell on. It really does help out my channel. Lightning Lane single pass attractions are those rides that are in high demand, the really popular rides, and for those rides, much like Genie Plus, you are going to pay for those rides completely separate from your multi-pass Lightning Lane option. So this is something that is a completely separate cost. Now you can make selections for the single pass at the same time you're making selections for your multi-pass, or you can do it completely separate. Let's go over what the single pass options are for each of the 4 parks. So at Magic Kingdom, it's going to be Tron and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. At Epcot, it's going to be Cosmic Rewind. Hollywood Studios is going to be Rise of the Resistance. And Animal Kingdom is going to be Avatar's Flight of Passage. From what I can tell, it's very similar to Genie Plus in regards to the most expensive and the least expensive rides. The most expensive ride is going to be Cosmic Rewind. It's averaging about $25. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is least expensive and it's averaging about $12, and everything else kind of falls in between. Something that you have to keep in mind if you are going to modify the single pass Lightning Lane is that you do have to pay the difference. So for example, if you booked Seven Dwarfs Mine Train but then you decided that you didn't want to ride it, or standby line was really short, never is, but just for the sake of the example, let's say you don't want to do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train for whatever reason, but you want to go ahead and do Cosmic Rewind instead, and it is available for purchase, you can actually just pay the difference. So for the sake of this example, let's say that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is $12 and Cosmic Rewind is $25. You are just going to pay the difference of $13 per person to ride Cosmic Rewind, because you've already paid $12 for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so it's basically just the difference. However, if for whatever reason you booked a single pass Lightning Lane at $25 for Cosmic Rewind and you decide that you would rather do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, no judgment here, you are not going to get that $13 difference back in the form of a refund of any kind. So that is something that you really have to keep in mind while you are modifying your single pass Lightning Lanes. Okay guys, that's going to be it for all of my tips, tricks, and advice for the new multi-pass and single pass Lightning Lane options that Disney World has rolled out. If you have been to the parks and you have tried this firsthand, let me know in the comments below about your experience. If you guys want to see me go to one of the 4 parks to try it out in real time and do a vlog, let me know in the comments below. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things theme park, cruise, and travel. Until next time.